You are now looking at the face of a 4-week-old human being. At this stage, 2 holes develop, one on either side of the embryo's head. It's hard to believe, but the eyes will be constructed in these holes. Development of the eyes starts in the 6th week. The cells operate with an unbelievable plan for months, and one by one form the different regions of the eyes. Some cells build the cornea, some the pupil, and others the lens. Each cell stops when it reaches the limit of the region it has to build. And the eye, which consists of some 40 different components, is constructed flawlessly. In this way, the eye, which is accepted as the world's most perfect camera, is brought into existence from nothing inside the mother's womb. It has been borne in mind that the person to be born will open his eyes to a world full of color, and an eye has been built which is ideally suited to its perception. The sounds this as yet unborn person will hear and the music he will listen to have also been taken into consideration. The ears which will listen to that music are also constructed in the mother's womb. These cells make up the finest sound reception instrument in the world. These scenes remind us once more that sight and hearing are in fact great blessings that God has bestowed upon us. God puts it this way in the Quran: "And God has brought you out from the wombs of your mothers while you know nothing, and He gave you learning, sight and hearts, that you might give thanks." All the information that we have so far given regarding the development of the embryo in the mother's womb has emerged from scientific research in the last 30 to 40 years. And this new information has enabled more new miracles of the Quran to be grasped. Until quite recently, it was thought that the bones formed at the same time as the muscles. But the latest research has revealed a truth that human beings were unaware of. First, bone tissue develops in the embryo, and then muscle tissue forms around the bones. The interesting thing is that this newly discovered fact was revealed 1400 years ago in the Quran. We then formed the drop into a clot, and formed the clot into a lump, and formed the lump into bones, and clothed the bones in flesh, and then brought him into being as another creature. Blessed be God, the best of creators. On the other hand, scientific research into birth has shown that the baby goes through 3 stages in the mother's womb. This fact is described in the following way in a textbook on embryology, Basic Human Embryology. Life in the womb goes through 3 phases: pre-embryonic, the first 2.5 weeks, embryonic, up to the end of the 8th week, and fetal, from the 8th week to birth. This information which was come by with the use of modern technology, the result of long years of research, was nevertheless given in the Quran some 1400 years ago. These three phases in the mother's womb are announced in the Quran in this way. He creates you stage by stage in your mother's wombs in a threefold darkness. That is God, your Lord. Sovereignty is His. There is no God but Him. So what has made you deviate? The instrument you can now see on the screen is a medical tool which possesses some of the world's most developed technology. It is a life support system which people in intensive care are linked up to. But this entire room full of high technology pales by comparison to another far more developed system of biotechnology. This superior piece of equipment is the placenta, which surrounds the embryo in the mother's womb and meets all its needs. The placenta is like a kidney dialysis machine, a heart-lung machine, and an artificial liver. It carries out all these functions at the same time. It is a wonderful design which enables mother and baby to live. The cells which make up the placenta recognize the food particles from the millions of molecules in the mother's blood and allows these to reach the baby. Another of the placenta's duties is to protect the embryo. The defensive cells in the mother's body flow towards the womb to attack the growing embryo. But cells on the very outermost layer of the placenta form a kind of filter between the mother's veins and the embryo. They allow the nutrient molecules to pass, but not the immunity cells. If the job of taking care of the growing embryo's needs had been given to a human being and not the placenta, then the embryo would not survive more than a few minutes. Because mankind does not possess the kind of technology, it would need to calculate the embryo's changing needs and then meet them. The only piece of technology sufficiently sophisticated to carry out this function is the placenta. This cord enables the link to be formed between the baby and the mother's body.